Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Tim Slice with Plastic DAO coming at you with the Plastic DAO Chronicles, right? Where we discuss things revolving around microplastics in the metaverse. Specifically, we highlight topics on microplastics, plastic pollution, drinking water, policy and regulations, updates, environmental cleanups, and technologies. Now, this of course takes place in Floki's Valhalla, a microplastics-free Web3 platform, which is perfect because we are Plastic DAO, the official meme coin of 2D filter systems. So I want to learn a little more of what's going on with this recommendation on existing governance for a global plastic treaty. It doesn't make any sense for its reference in this article. But let's see. Let's break it down. The glowing plastic production, the lack of waste management, and fragmented regulatory responses have increased their abundance in the environment. Plastic pollution has created significant environmental concerns, leading to planetary boundary threats. As a result, an increasing number of governments and non-state actors have begun negotiations on a legally binding treaty to cover the full life cycle of plastics by 2024. 2024. It is October 6th, 2025. This is the shit I'm talking about. You're writing an article, publishing an article, saying the solution to the problem is more regulation, more enforcement, more big government. And I'm not trying to shit on anybody directly, but just referencing all these big players here and all these previous efforts. Since 1960, is it 1960? First reports of adverse impacts in marine plastic debris on marine species. 1960. Okay, and then what is this? 1979 Convention of the Conservation of Migratory Species and Wild Animals. So, there's been awareness, obviously. Plastic Pollution Coalition, 2009. Uh, 2009. That was like 18 years ago. No, more, 20... What is it? I want to be right. $35 years. No. I'm bullshitting. 16 years ago. So for 16 years, big organizations have been here advocating, making change. Alliance to End Plastic Waste 2019. 2025. Referencing shit for 2025. Diplomatic Conference of... I don't even know how to fucking say that. Cut that out. Yeah. So this diplomatic conference right here. Adoption of resolution to end plastic pollution. Paris, France. Kenya. UN Ocean Conference 2022. Yeah. It's I'm trying to see if they'll mention the plastic treaty, plastic solutions, global assessment, maritime litter, marine litter, and plastic pollution, UNEP. Yeah, irregardless, I mean, you're still drinking bottled water like it's normal. Still drinking bottled products. But yeah, this reference here, I mean, it's a bad reference. That's out of date. We're gonna be in 2026 here in a few months. So let's see what this article says about the United States, which is very disappointing considering you're writing an article, you're referencing there needs to be regulation, and the current state of the United States government is shut down. And even if it wasn't shut down, are they really making efforts? Is big plastic just lobbying? I mean, oil and gas, you know, I ain't going anywhere anytime soon, at least in the United States. Especially in Texas. It's just a big money maker. Texas tea. So it's no bullshit here. Especially natural gas too. So just the whole oil and gas industry is huge. Two California U.S. regulations are noteworthy. The first being California AB 793, recycling plastic beverages containers, minimum recycled content for September 2020. California Beverage Container Recycling and Litter Reduction Act mandates a minimum refund value of all so just refunds, bullshit, recycling, recovery requires per year plastic beverage soda manufacturers 50% post-consumer recycled content per year for all plastic members. So that is pretty good to California be passing a bill like that. The plan establishes tiers with the goal of a minimum of 50% plastic recycle containers. Yeah, that's good. But not just for California. I mean, California's a big place, big global economy, but this needs to be, I don't know why something like this is not implemented federally. Food facilities. So they're going to be addressing the single food use ware accessories and standard condiments for restaurants. Okay. Colorado introduced plastic pollution 2021, address growing concern of plastic waste. Limiting single-use plastic carry-out bags, reducing polystyrene products to protect the state environment naturally. Okay, so Smoking the Bear doesn't get a plastic bag on his foot when he's walking. Okay. Single use in stores, prohibits polystyrene takeout containers. So again, just in restaurants. Connecticut introduced minimum recycling plastic content products sold within the state. So 3 different states. Let's see. Additionally, it includes provisions related to solid waste management, replacing another bill And under this bill, including doubling the bottle deposit value to 10 cents, expanding the range of containers accepted by collecting facilities. Yeah, incentivizing the people that recycle. That's important. I've been saying this shit. I don't know why manufacturers don't do that just in general. You have a Coke, you have a favorite drink, you drink it, you clean the fucking bottle, you send the bottles back in, and then the manufacturer or the store gives you a discount because you're saving materials, and there's no need for bigger production for plastic bottles, single-use plastic bottles. You're just reusing them. Or breaking those down, however you want to do it. But the point is, you're not synthesizing more plastic material and putting it out there. You're limiting that. You're limiting that opportunity for pollution by doing that way, and you're incentivizing the consumer. Again, in Maine, municipal recycling programs reduce costs, taxpayers. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Rhode Island seeks to reduce plastic pollution by banning single-use plastic straws. Yeah, the turtles. The turtles with the straw. I don't think people know what I'm talking about, but let's see here. What the hell? Can't type today. Let's see.
Oh man.
Oh, you're okay. It's almost there.
Oh shit. That's stuck in there. Well, there you go. It was stuck in there. Dang. So, let's see. New Jersey. Plastic film. So yeah, they're not even addressing plastic bottles. It's just fucking plastic bags, carry-out bags, utensils, straws, takeout containers. Just Mickey Mouse shit. Early 2000s when problems began for plastic bags in Bangladesh, implementing bans, bags roll on flooding and pollution, European Union. Yeah, so Europe does shit. They do a lot of good progressive stuff, especially out in Switzerland. They're definitely tip my hat to those guys. Single-use plastics directive. Yeah. It's just talking about plastic bags. You're writing an article on fucking plastic bottles and you just keep yeah, collective action. No references. Refilling stations. Yeah, so It just basically says get your water from somewhere else. Don't get it from single-use bottles. Get it from a refillable source. You take a high-density polymer plastic, which is perfectly fine, and then you refill it, and you end up using that, and you're offsetting the use. So, but it's not addressing the problem directly. The problem is growing. The problem is not stopping. The problem is not going to be addressed by regulatories. It's not going to fucking happen. It's really the individual. Yeah, okay, you want to, I want to address the government too, but funding's real stretched, especially when they're slashing funding across the board. It's not really in the interest, especially now in Washington, to enact bigger government, which is, politics aside, it's completely irrelevant. You have 2/3 of the other recommendation right here: businesses and individuals. And businesses do not do shit without individuals, and there's no government without the right individuals. So it's really up to the individual, whoever the hell's listening to me, to support plasticDAO because of what we're doing in our filtration technology that addresses the water contaminants directly from the source, from the plastic bottles, from whatever plastic good that may be filtered with our technology. We filter it. This is, of course, our business, 2D filter systems. Our meme coin, on which you're listening to, is plasticDAO. So, if that's 2/3 of the recommendations, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, behavioral studies. Yeah, I don't want to get into all this, but it's not looking good for us. You're talking about regulations on both sides of the board. You're talking about regulations in the United States. You're talking about regulations overseas. Who knows how it would work with our non-allies, right? We have our allies that we should be supporting in this plastic treaty in Geneva. We did not do shit. Let me look that up right now. Geneva. Plastic treaty. So the Geneva Plastic Treaty refers to the failed negotiations in August 2025 to create the first legally binding global agreement to end plastic pollution, which stalled due to disagreements on whether to cap plastic pollution production and ban toxic chemicals, pitting an ambitious group of countries against oil-producing states held in Geneva, Switzerland. The session was intended to be the final round of talks, but the countries could not reach consensus on a treaty addressing the full life cycle of plastics. So they could not come to an agreement, and it looks like they didn't even schedule a future meeting. And I'm sad to say, I'm ashamed to say, that the United States was one of the countries that was, of course, lobbied by Big Plastic and did not vote in favor of the proposals, or didn't even advocate cases towards the full life cycle of plastics. So there's this big hinder from oil producing states, and of course these are the states that are lobbied by Big Plastics. And then you have your ambitious group, which is your advocacies and your lawyers and your nonprofits and these types of people that are advocating for the end of plastic pollution, which makes total fucking sense. The trajectory we're on when it comes to plastic waste is alarming and it needs to be addressed, but this is how global efforts are done with Geneva conventions held in Switzerland, and they're failed. 184 countries gathered, finalized a plastic treaty, but did not reach consensus. Disagreements. Core dispute was between countries advocating for a treaty that includes curbs on new plastic production and restricts to harmful chemicals, and those mainly oil-producing nations who prefer to focus on waste management, recycling, and reuse. Reuse, yes, motherfucker, been saying this. Fucking use. Recycling, yes, of course. Waste management. Hey, these fuckers take plastic from what you recycle, they shred it all up, and then they ship it to like a poor country in Africa or in Asia, and they are of course in charge of the waste, but things don't always go like that because regulation is looser in these countries, and money gets misallocated, I should say, and so it's not really waste management. It's more like you're pawning off the fucking waste to another poor developed country so they can have jobs and we can have less waste, but the environmental impact is still the same, if not worse. So delegates were divided, with some pushing treaty to address entire life cycle. Yeah, so it's talking about plastics from production and disposal rather than resisting production cuts. Production cuts. What about production restrictions? Not cuts. Yeah, you gotta stop producing plastic after a certain limit, but you can limit the rate. Saying you're going to limit a certain amount is one thing, but putting a restriction on the rate, at least slow the motherfucker down. I don't know what these guys are doing. Yeah, why was the plastic treaty important? And plastic pollution. That's a path forward for the treaty negotiations is uncertain following the collapse of talks in Geneva. Some countries and organizations remain committed to finding a path to a strong treaty to safeguard people. Hey, I'm about it. But we could look it up right here. So we can look up the UN 5th session. Oh man, dude, the fuck you doing? The 5th session did not come to an agreement. Second part of the 5th session, the intergovernmental negotiation committee to develop the international legally binding instrument on plastic pollution, including marine environment, took place, in Switzerland. Resume session. Watch the closing.
Good morning, dear colleagues. We'll start our session. Please.
Let us fulfill that duty. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the European Union. Now I give the floor to Grenada, followed by Qatar.
I thank you, Chair. It is important to the government.
Whatever time is not in our side.
Texts we consider.
Looks like a whole bunch of talking.
Your team for the tireless.
I'm gonna just tell you that right now. A whole bunch of fucking
enjoying majority.
tiny pianos
To
playing.
achieving satisfying
You know. And I'm gonna tell you this. It sounds like shit. When you have all these countries, and they didn't get anything done. Following 10 days of negotiation, without consensus of a text of instrument, committee agreed to resume negotiation at a future date to be announced. So you didn't even set a date. You just said you're going to set a future date. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to read, man. This has been a hard fight. 10 days against the backdrop of geopolitical complexities, economic challenges, and multilateral strains. However, one thing remains. Despite these complexities, all countries clearly want to remain on the table. Yeah. Fuck you. How can you say something like this after the 5 years of meeting and not getting shit done? I don't know. Yeah, you can read all this bullshit. I mean, that's all it is. It's just talks. It's just big disappointment. But hey, we covered one article. We dove a little bit into the science and the UN, and we'll dive into more plastic topics next week. Thanks for tuning in. Catch y'all later.